We wanted to trick you. Hey, well, welcome to Wacky Wednesdays. It sounds like our audio track is getting a little worn out. So maybe we'll have to work on that because it was a little tweaked out. Welcome in, everyone, to Toy Box Chronicles. I am your lovely, gorgeous, sexy host, Chet Maddox, along with my fantastic, fabulous Alexander Thunderstorm. How are you doing today on this fine, sexy wine evening of a Wednesday?
Hey, what's going on, man? Feeling pretty good, bro. Everything's going good. Looking forward to it. We got some interesting nostalgia that dropped today, or actually yesterday, technically.
We do have some interesting nostalgia. We're gonna get into M.A.S.K and whether or not it's priced to fail, and there's some other things happening across the toy world. You have Dragon Man starting to show up. Everyone is starting to get their Dragon Man notifications and the articulation. Chef's kiss. Hey, we see all of you hanging out, in the comments, and we will get to the fan bag in a second. And we appreciate you. We want to remind you to like, subscribe, follow to America's premier toy podcast. This is going to be an interesting day because you know how I feel about M.A.S.K. And I think a lot of people feel about the same way that I do. But hey, let's get into it. This is Toy Box Chronicles. Well, I just realized that like my whole audio thing is screwed up on here.
Yeah.
Everything was turned up. Some weird thing like came through here. Everything's louder than it should be.
I think it's Steve, man. I think we're gonna have to.
Dude, Steve has been a thorn in my side since back in my Twitch days, and now Steve's made his way. I thought he was good, but I guess not. No. Hey, man, it's been an exciting lose all your money kind of month and week, huh?
Oh, heck yeah, man. It's, you know what? This is the one point we talked about this on a couple of the other shows we were doing. It's the overfishing part. And it just seems like these toy companies are really hitting everybody with the way too many things, way too many drops. It's just really kind of killing it out, man. But, we can always not buy everything too. So
yeah. Well, and they did it again today. Mythic Legions, we're not really going to cover it on this show, but
yeah,
Mythic Legions just got done announcing another thing where their all-in bundle that you pay up front is only $349. It's like not any, like, I mean, if you're not excited about anything at Comic-Con, I could see buying it, or if you don't want the Snowcat or you don't want any of this other stuff, but like, I don't know, man. But most importantly, we are here for a show. We are here for you, and that's why we are the premier one. So let's go hit up the fan bags and see what's going on in the fan bags. And I appreciate Commander Bly.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. Because if anybody, he's always first.
He's always first.
Yeah.
Waiting for potential pricing from Commander Bly. Jason, welcome on in. Howdy. Hal Runner is making his own base. Hey, by the way, Hal Runner, that reminds me, I don't know if you guys have seen the latest trailer for Running Man. That's something that we might talk about on Pixel Plastic Geek on Friday. But
maybe.
And then we got Dr. Brentley who's in here. What's up, Doctor of the Brentleys? Some salutes happening. Commander Bly and Mooch has decided to show up. Welcome in, Mooch, Bagooch. Yeah, man, where do we even I don't even know. Like, first of all, have you been able to kind of like dodge all of like the pre-orders, or what have you gotten? I know we don't need to go into detail on it because I think we'll do that on Action Figure Frequency. But like, what did you land on so far?
I'm patiently waiting for the Cold Sliver set at San Diego Comic-Con, and I did, back the Snowcat World War Hell. I did put that in. So if you guys haven't done it, not too long can go by before you guys can't hit that Kickstarter, because guaranteed it is one of the better ones. I didn't do M.A.S.K only because I want to see M.A.S.K in hand, because I think it looks like there's digital renders. I didn't really, other than at the Toy Fair where they sold that little video shot, I didn't get to see it. So so that's what I'm waiting for. So, and that's coming in like the end of the summer anyways. And then from there, I got notifications that the classified that we ordered in March, the legacy character, the firefighter, is on his way. So you and I, they just sold the push off for damn near every piece of snake armor we did. That was, God knows how many of that stuff it was. And then
that was you're right.
And then my breaker, I just found out that was pushed for until September, and I know people have been getting that now. And then of course we're anticipating the Rattler showing up here, so I'm looking forward to that, because I saw a guy put that on a spin display on the stand. Hey, what's going on, Jeffrey? Hey guys, I'm Jeffrey from the Philippines, excited for the M.A.S.K. Hey, thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate that. But I saw it he had it on a turntable, and it was with the stand on it. This thing is massive, bro. This thing is massive. My God. Even in the video, this thing looked huge. So, that's where the bucks is going. The Mustafar set that I've heard at San Diego Comic-Con, I don't know, man, because they're dropping so much stuff. There's also Micro Galaxy. We are that Wednesday before, actually during San Diego Comic-Con, it'll be preview night when we're on. We're going to do a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive special. We're going to break down all the things that we deem important there that you're going to need to hit your pocketbooks up for. So that's going to be a huge San Diego Comic-Con special. So if you guys are still not decided about any of your exclusive figures, or you have no idea that they were doing some of these Hot Wheels sets and some of these other Micro Galaxies and Gemini holograms and all these other things, that night before during San Diego Comic-Con's preview night, we will be on letting you know what you should be looking for that entire weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. So, like I said, I know you were excited about this the most. Look, I was vicariously living through you, because I knew what kind of huge M.A.S.K fan you were. It was interesting. We had our doubts about little subjects. We saw this stuff. We were like, okay. They kind of like, we weren't really worried. And then, we heard the point, July 1st, they're dropping them. How did you feel that morning, Mr. Maddox?
I felt like a kid again. Look, I'm excited for it. I was actually on there like refreshing the Big Bad Toy Store, and like it wasn't live when I was trying to pre-order it. So finally was able to refresh it. It went live. I clicked on one, hit add to cart, and then realized I clicked on the entire bundle, and I was like, I don't want all of them. So here's my thing is like, I do want all of them, but the reason why I'm buying Rhino is really only three things, and two of them are really the only ones that matter, but the third one's personal preference. Okay. Number one, personal preference. I loved Rhino as a kid. I have the original one now. You can see it behind me. It's like right here somewhere. I love Rhino. It is fantastic. Now, the two big reasons why I got it, and probably you can kind of combine two of them into one, but realistically, I bought Rhino because I want to see the quality that this is. And I feel like Rhino is the make. I think Rhino is the make or break on whether or not they can do these correct, right? Because like the smaller vehicles, they don't have as many moving parts. But Rhino, it's got Running Man did not need to be remade yet, correct? It's a weird move. We'll get into it on Friday. It's a weird film. But I think Rhino is going to be the tell-all for everything, right? It's got all of the intricate parts. It's got multiple moving whatever. Like you have the shooting rocket. The thing, it separates. You have 2 figures now. You get 4 with T-Bob and Scott. So I was excited, but I want to buy that first and see what the quality is, and then we'll decide if I'm going to buy more.
That's why I
And I
said you
talked
were
to
my
Scott.
guinea pig on this one, brother.
Yeah, I'm fine being that, because if I don't like it, at least I got that one, and I'm golden. But yeah, I did in pre-order wise, I did manage to offload 2 of them. I couldn't find anybody else. I canceled 2 of them, and I kept 2 of them. so,
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. And then San Diego Comic-Con, I for sure am gonna do Cold Slither. There's a few other sub lines that I want to get that just have nothing to do with like action figures, just different kinds of toys. I don't know, man. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Mythic Legions look really good. Like they if you guys haven't seen it, I just don't think the prices are worth it. Feels like they're about 30 to 40% too much for the scale and reissue. That's because, Moocher, they are 30 to 40% too much for the reissue. And we'll get into it. And here we are. We're just gonna jump into this because it is a hot topic, and let's get into this thing. M.A.S.K returns, available at the Big Bad Toy Store. You guys know them, you love them, you see them. And then this was the bundle that I clicked on.
Yeah,
and this
all in,
took it right to my cart for $379 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Like I said again, I think they did a stellar job on adding some articulation and the actual look and feel of these renders right now of the main characters. Look, the original ones have 4 points of articulation. They were good. But this is a nice little upgrade. The San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version, which is the one that's pictured on the screen here of Rhino, or I think they call it the Mobile Defense Unit. That one, I will give them credit on. It looks nice. I don't like them changing the missile from the missile launcher from black to silver, and then also the missile itself from also black to a early lighter gray. But so I can kind of see why they did it, you know.
So I think the lighter gray, in my opinion, kind of is like the European release. They couldn't call it a missile in the European release; it was a satellite.
Obviously. Yeah.
So it was silver. But I'm not sure if I'm a fan of what they're doing here.
Yeah, look, one, like we've said this. Look, I think Low Subjects is, they're trying to tap into a version of nostalgia. I think Dark Moocher is absolutely correct when I think that the pricing, that's the one gripe that I gave. I thought the pricing was too much. I think Rhino should be at least $75. And I think for 36, we'll see the prices when we get into this. Let's be honest, Chet, this is getting all of these. No, not for a change, actually. This is the difference.
I have held off, but like I said, and Commander Bly agreed with me, so it's true. I think Rhino is the benchmark for everything, so I'm going to buy it. We'll see how it is. Moocher, if they are awesome. I know side story here, Scott Solo got Thunderhawk, so we'll see there. I just didn't need Thunderhawk because I have Ace's version and the original, so I don't really.
And let's get in before we even get in. Let's get into Ace's versions. Look, I thought this licensing. I understand it always comes to dollars and cents and it's whatever. I thought Ace was doing a good job, and I thought that he actually deserved to get the actual license to M.A.S.K because, look, I think he put a very good care into the products. It didn't look like the originals. It was slightly bigger, yet though it had a little bit more features and there were more variants. So if you're giving me a 1+1, the same thing that they did in like the 80s, then I would have been disappointed. I think the figures are the best part. I think Ace is I'm gonna want to get both T-Bob and Scott, and then Ace's version of them both in hand to do a comparison because Ace's rendering looks a little bit better. So it's just that's I guess that's how the licensing breaks and shit.
Yeah, so I want to do a comparison. Maybe I'll have to. I could do a comparison between like my original one and the one for Ace for Thunderhawk.
Exactly.
And then maybe if Rhino is good, Thunderhawk or Switchblade might be my next ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I think look, Aces is good. Aces is actually a little bit bigger than the original.
Yeah,
It's like it's a little bit bigger. It's not necessarily full 3 3/4. And this is not. This is like 2 2 1/4 or something like that. So I don't know. I think it's good. He's getting Condor to test it out. All right. So we got three different. We should all do a live stream where we all just show off the ones we got to talk about them.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the 324.99, which technically 325 with, and also remember with Big Bad Toy Store, there may be a tariff fee charged on this as well. So they put that in a little fine red printing right there. Look, does it look like M.A.S.K? Absolutely. Did it look like they went on some tangent and didn't do what fans probably wanted? No, they did. They kept it to the boundaries of what they did. I think that's extremely smart to do that, because I think if you variant, but also Ace kind of did it and he upgraded a little, and it was what fans wanted as well. So you're getting that. The pricing again, 324. I'm sure if we did 80s pricing and everything, this is probably what do you think is about maybe 165 at the most, all foreign in the 80s, possibly. Just off the spitball on my head. But look, this one, it's on Big Bad Toy Store right now. I actually was on it earlier. All the items are still up for pre-order. The version that you see of Rhino here, or the Mobile Defense Unit, that is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And you'll see down the line that there's two versions of Rhino. So there's one that comes with Scott and T-Bob, and then there's one version that doesn't. It just comes with Matt Tracker and Soto. So you want to make sure if you're clicking on and you want to get the entire bundle with the two extra characters, make sure you're picking right, because it is a little confusing as you're going through it. They don't really kind of put San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or anything on it. It just basically shows more figures.
Well, that and visually, there's a big change, and we'll get into that in a minute.
There's. So first one up again, like I said, the Mobile Defense Unit comes with Matt Tracker, Bruce Soto, Scott Tracker, and then T-Bob. And you can see that one is, just like the original. This one, though, I do know had blast effects that you could put on to the smokestack / cannons. So there's somewhere you can plug it.
It's pretty cool.
You can plug that in. So that's different than the original. And but I think
the original didn't have that.
Yeah, I think they did a nice job though with the look. It still looks like a 80s version of a Peterbilt. They didn't try to update it and do a newer one. I think they did a interesting job on this, is that they kept it fairly similar. I'm just worried about will the chrome match up to the 80s version. And it says, I'm rooting for low subjects. We need more companies in the game that have good ideas. I will agree and disagree with you. I'm rooting for low subjects on the part that they, that M.A.S.K is a success for them, but also they just reissued nostalgia. They didn't do anything original. It wasn't like this was a brand new line they were coming out with, and you were like, oh, okay, wow, they're taking a swing. They know there's built-in fans. Now, will those fans show up and purchase this? Is one thing or other. That's
the thing I like. The thing I do appreciate about this is the effects that they do on the visors of the helmets.
Yeah.
So that's good. If we go on to the next one, we are at.
We're gonna have to still same one. Scott and T-Bob, obviously a little bit more. And now again, I think these are more digital renders. If you want to see, there's a couple of videos from the Lowell Subject booth when they were at Toy Fair early in the year where they actually had them in hand. And so you can see what they looked like, a little bit more scope, but this is what they put up on Big Bad Toy Store. And again, you can see in the computer back area. The one thing I don't know if because I was looking at it, there's no chair in the back, right? So I know in the original one there wasn't. But I thought if you were going to take a point of adding like a chair to the computer monitor, it probably would have been the time to do that then.
Yeah. So, there's no chair.
Yeah, but everything else works like the original. Again, this one you saw that was at the all-in pricing. If you want all these other characters at the $324 price tag. Then we're looking at, of course, Thunderhawk, which is I'd say the most, next to Rhino, the probably second most famous vehicle that they did out of the line.
Yep.
It's I think it's what it's an 80s Trans Am, right?
It's an IROC Z, baby.
IROC. Okay, there you go. There,
Yeah.
but
It's
again,
awesome.
you get a great look at Tracker. This is coming in at $59.99. Now they did state that this was looking to ship late August of this year, so this is not something that you're going to pre-order and wait a full year for. You're going to be able to order it in July, and then sometime in August, it's going to probably show up.
Here's my problem with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
If they are really shipping in late August, why are we still looking at renders?
I don't know. Maybe that's just the information. It does kind of make you a tad bit worried. Just
I mean, come on, it's a little shady. Let's be honest, it's a little shady. Why?
Look. Low Subject has a reputation of being the kind of toys you find at Ross, because we've seen their best line, and you can go in there.
God, if you show up at Ross, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, I don't think this is because it's a big bad toy store. I don't think there's a chance of this happening. But it's it does kind of worry you a little bit. But yeah, $59.99. Again, I thought maybe I could see $49. $59, nope. I think it's $10 too much. What do you think? It's cheaper than that? I think it should be $39. Okay. All right. You'll
see, because as we start going through these, you'll understand what I'm doing with the pricing right now. $39 is where this should sit.
So, and of course, one thing they did do a little update to the classic box, but it is still the classic box, the same coloring, the same points. You just added a couple other features like the triangle feature and things like that on it. But and I'm glad they did do that. It stopped fraud.
Here's where I could understand the pricing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be convinced. But if you made this argument with me, I would entertain listening even further. The $60, like Commander Bly, is high. However, it's important to understand that you are getting a figure and a vehicle. So that is my number one reason why I'm not being too extreme on one side or the other, because what would the cost of the Rhino be if it was 1/12 scale? Or even if you were to move it up to like 3 3/4 scale, the cost of a Rhino would be pretty expensive.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you're I'm gonna give you that argument only to the point that there's a classified vehicle at 1/12 scale that was $100 with a 6-inch figure. Now you've got a thing that's smaller than a 3 3/4 figure.
And that classified vehicle did all the transformations that these do?
No, but it does have like accessories pullouts. It had all the aspects to it. I'm just saying when it comes to when it comes to plastic, brother, I think they've stressed this.
Yes, plastic, absolutely, I agree, but it's not the same because. But this is where the argument stops with me, though. They didn't re-engineer anything new. They just took the plans and remade these. However, what I'm talking about price-wise, while I understand the Stinger, whatever, what I'm talking about specifically on these is like the engineering side, right? So all the functionality that goes into like Rhino's grill popping out, the missile shooting, the bombs dropping, and Thunderhawk, the tail popping up, like that is. You are paying for that design aspect. So that's why I'm saying like I could kind of like lean into like where it would be there. But even if you go back to like modern day and someone could do the math while we're talking, Rhino back in the day was $34.
Yeah.
And that came with Soto and Matt. So like so it like I don't think $34 translating to current prices would be $175 if you included T-Bob and Scout Tracker.
Absolutely true.
I just don't think it tracks. I think $100 tracks for that, but I don't think
I could have been all right if it was 100. Here's the reason why I will refute your argument on this is that we know that the same point you can still pick up a version of like Rhino, and that if you get somebody who took care of it, that front end, that spring, the rocket, everything works. And that's a 40+ year almost scenario. It does
have CarPlay, yes.
But here's the reason why I'm saying that might be a problem. I don't know, doing the low subjects and their quality. I don't know if, like, 40 years from now, you're going to be able to hit those springs and everything else. It's just one of those things that, 6 months, do we see something in, like, people like, oh, well, yeah, the rocket launcher doesn't work anymore. My, the spring doesn't pop out, the hood doesn't, or the grill doesn't pop out anymore. The wings don't pop up because you had all this engineering that was pre-done for you. So, but we all know the parts are not the same that they used in the 80s because the 80s stuff is holding up now. And I got things from the early 2000s that aren't.
Yeah, and honestly, the only thing that really broke on the Rhino is the launcher for the rocket.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with that.
Because it has like a little hook that goes in. It's just one piece of plastic with a tooth that holds it.
Yeah.
That's what broke on this one back here. And I have my scrap one down here to like take that out. I got the Stinger for $73 on Amazon. It's pretty nice. Yeah, $73 is a really good price, man.
It is. It is.
Comparing Thunderhawk to Classified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stinger's epic. And then I'm excited for that. Yeah, I think the Outstriker is going to be good. Gridiron Studios, though.
That one,
$100 more bucks.
Jason, take a look at that Desert Fox.
Yeah.
Just also tell you, if you want the Outstriker, that'll work well for you too. Now here's a Switchblade, which they call it high-tech helicopter. They might have worked on that the classification a little better. But this look, I like Miles Mayhem. He looks extremely well. I had this as a kid too. Again, I'm just gonna have to see the functionality of this thing. But I like it. The extreme colors, everything works. In fact, the funny thing about this vehicle, this looks like something that now today we could actually see. In the 80s was something futuristic. You're like, I can see that flying around right now as somebody's personal vehicle or something,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, this doesn't. I don't know if it's like the same. Hold on, let me look. Keep going.
Okay. All right, and then we've got had the original Switchblade too. Okay, well there you go. I think you know what, they're out of the 4 vehicles that they did introduce first, I believe that this was the 4 that everyone really had. We were debating this, saying maybe they should have put Jackhammer in this first one, maybe a Firecracker. There you go, right there. Like I said again, it still holds up. Plastic still looks great today, man.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it holds up. Like the window on the original. This is one of the cleaner ones I can find. I know that there's cleaner ones out there, and I'm looking for them. But I mean, it holds up. But you could see that, like what they did with the Miles Morales on this one, like that. If you look at that one, right? So, like you can see, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And this is the original one.
Yeah. See, and like I said again, it's not a bad look for what is. I think they added a couple more features, and look, it still looked like, even with the that version of plastic, it still looked like the cartoon version of them. So they did a good job. Kenner did a great job on those, but this new one, it adds a little extra to it too, man. So I give them credit, man. They've knocked it out. It's like, I like when they get things right. Again, these are still rendering, so we're gonna have to see this in person. But so far, the renders look good, man. I think that was one of those things they took it in from the point and go back,
Yeah.
And it's Spider-Man flies your Switchblade. I know what he's talking about. Yeah, it's Mayhem.
Yeah, I know. Miles Mayhem. Yeah, man. Switchblade's cool. $89. Don't agree with it. Could see it at 69, not 89. I mean, I'm looking at it, right? Like basically looking at what they're selling for 69 right now, and like
the one thing I think that they should have done within the advertisement as well, because we know there's some blast effects on some of these vehicles. I don't know which ones. I don't know if they're all coming with them or several, but they probably should have put that into the descriptionary part of it, what it came with, a little bit more. It kind of the broad point in the pictures, and I think is different. But we take a look at that packaging. You've seen that in these, that red, white, and the yellow kind of thing kind of still stands true. You can see it across the room, and it works itself out. We move on to Condor.
And yes, I did mean Miles Mayhem. I know I have a Spider-Man thing next to me that I looked at, so leave me alone. Bly. Someone give me $1 to kick Bly from the chat.
This one,
This is cool. This is a good
it's
figure. This
nice.
is really clean.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think they did a really nice job. The glasses and everything on them. This was always the point of contention. I remember Condor was, because the blades were always the thing that broke first on Condor, because you know they pop back in, you put them back down. Those were, it's hard to see a clean one most of the time. So
Yeah, I
but
have a really clean one.
this one's at $34.99. You know, again, you know, we get into it all day long. But again, still readily available. Still readily available on Big Bad Toy
If
Store.
it's since it's the same exact size,
Yeah.
you can literally get the original on Amazon right now for like $4 more.
Yeah. That, no, now here's the thing that I think that's the point of contention. Either you're going to be a vintage and you're going to go back and hunt down the vintage line, but I think there's people that don't want to, you know, there's people don't want to haggle, don't want to go through, like, you know, some of these swap meets or toy shows or things like that and haggle itself out. And I don't. I think this is the first time I've heard somebody kick themselves out of a chat.
I don't know how to do that. Whatever, you kicked out.
We'll just have to use the honor system on that. Bly would just say that you got kicked out and everything else like that. And yep. Well, let me check the Toy Hunter app.
Yeah,
yep,
check it. Let me know what you find right now.
Right.
But I didn't see Commander Bly request beta access, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to put them up for that. But the packaging is still the same. They still have the same top lip that they did and everything. They just did a good job if you're in the nostalgia and you just wanted to have these boxes, because we've seen several people we know just have the boxes on their shelves.
I'm excited. Look, this is where I wish Toys R Us was still around, because to see all these in like a toy store location on a shelf, like people would finally understand like what that felt like, because the colors are so good.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think, look, I think toys would sell more if they went back to their old school. Like Rad and I used to have a show called Retro Rewind, and we would go over like why the vintage toys would sell so much because of the packaging. And this was one of the big ones. Like you had the M.A.S.K section, which was all orange. You had GI.JOE, which was like big, colorful, like vehicles running through water. You had
Transformers.
You know, you had like Transform, like everything, man. It would just pop, and you would buy it because it was there, right? So
absolutely,
it was cool. Hey, I think it's cool that they did this. I don't agree with $34.
Yeah. Again, there's not a lot to gripe about other than just, I really think pricing. I think it's bold and ambitious. I'm glad they're bringing it back out. We thought Hasbro should have taken the opportunity. For the love of God, I don't know why they didn't do this. Because I do think it's gonna print some money. I think, like, they own the license. It wasn't like it was, you know, it wasn't like a servant. I understand though, they're a major corporation. They're looking for other people to pay for certain things. This is one of those things. Yeah, loose complete Condor is around $39.99 on the Toy Hunter app for the win. Absolutely. Yep. And of course, we have the one and only, the greatest Korean barbecue person on the face of the planet that's ever popped in, Rhino Hobby. What's going on, Rhino? Let's see. Condor in the box, 375. Loose, 33.50. Well, now that makes sense.
All in-box stuff has gone way up already. So
yeah, of course. But again, if you're just looking to get the characters, and then if you want to purchase the newer ones just to put behind the box behind it, makes sense, you know. Here's the standard version of Rhino, which is the more complete, like the original version, where you notice that the missile launcher in the back is actually a maroon color like the cab, and the actual missile itself is black. So this kind of looks similar to what it was.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like this, the little radar dish at the top, above the two windows. That is also the original color, versus the San Diego exclusive one is like an orange color.
Oh, got it. Now here's the one thing that I love about this version. This
and
is
you
where
only
go ahead.
Sorry, you only get one helmet each.
Yeah, but they come with the effect off the helmets. Now that's the first time. They did not have those in the original series. I think that's a subtle and nice upgrade to it.
So that's one thing I was going to say about this whole thing. Jason said was just looking at the gridiron vehicles. They are cool. They are, and actually rad from our Friday night shows. About the Fairlinks one that they just released. I think that's how you say it. I'm probably saying it wrong. We all say it wrong. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we
But
probably.
he's gonna have that, and then I'm gonna be doing the unbox and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but look, the one thing I'll tell you about M.A.S.K, what they did with
Mm-hmm.
this, while I'm just mad about the pricing, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever. At the same time, the effects they did on the helmet, smart, and they actually mimic what the effects look like in the cartoon,
Yes.
which a lot of people don't
Yes.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the blast effects on the other part,
Uh-huh.
so good. It's so good.
And,
And look, they did color the missile launcher back to the original. The missile is the same color as the original. I am curious, and they haven't said this, but I'm curious if you get the black and the silver missile, and if your sticker sheet has the original and the orange when you get the San Diego Comic-Con. That's what I'm curious to see is like, what do you get in the packaging besides just the vehicle?
yeah.
So Rhino Hobby says, I love M.A.S.K as a kid, but I don't know if nostalgia is worth that price. Well, let us do the pricing, you know?
Here's but yeah, like I said again, they've done a great job. Packaging, I remember this packaging on Christmas Day, and it still looks good. And actually, I like that they kept the variation of the colors, not because it was more of I guess a violet, velvet or something color, and then maroon. So it kind of had two different color on the packaging art and everything, and it's actually real artwork too, that's what I love about it, man. I always love the painted drawings on the original 80s boxes and everything else, and that because you just needed an artist to sell it, and it still rings true. I think it's fantastic. I think the colors, you're right. I love how these are bright. They pop. You see it. You can see it probably across the toy store if it was on a toy store rack. You know. From there, we're looking at again all the pricing here. Again, it's up on Big Bad Toy Store. So if you actually still do want to order it, you can pop over there and see it. And I'm pretty sure in the next several weeks there's going to be all kinds. Up there you go. If you want to see what a Rhino box looks like,
Yeah.
there
So
you go.
if you look at this is pretty close to being the one that they had is pretty close to this.
Yeah.
They changed this over here a
Uh-huh.
little bit. The side they basically kept, right? The back is the same, except for on the back, obviously there says like loyal subjects down here, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But it did come with the same helmets that they're releasing. You can see the colors, like
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I think everything's pretty close to being the same. So
yeah, look, you know what? Ambitious. I think it's cool. We're gonna be keeping a close eye for when these start coming in, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna do an unbox on the channel once we see what the mobile defense unit looks like when it pops in and everything. And you do a side-by-side comparison. We'll see that, and then we'll have original Rhino with it, and it'll be very interesting to see if there's any upgrades or certain things that we notice that there's subtle changes from just looking. So but bravo, low subjects, your time is here, and hey, enjoy every bit of it because before it gets into people's hands, they don't have a chance to rip it apart. So this is a sweet moment right here. But you know what people are waiting for, though, right, Chet?
I don't
Oh,
pay
bro.
attention.
Like I said, last year,
I know what I'm waiting for.
last year, the people over at Hasbro, Marvel Legends team, decided to do what they call made-to-order figures. So it's a particular figure that they didn't think was going to be extremely popular for mass release, but they thought a small group of fans would have an opportunity to buy it. That meant that you can actually do it in the same way like in HasLab. You don't have to pay for it up front. You can put your order in, but there was a limited time to get it. I think anybody that didn't order this one character is gonna be jumping through a hoop to get it because since it is a made for item order, it's not gonna probably be readily available. But we're talking about Dragon Man. There he is, and from the Hasbro Pulse team, they let it know to check out the final product photography showcasing his detailed sculpt and the classic comic inspired deco. But those who pre-ordered the Marvel Legends series Dragon Man, it ships late this summer, so that's probably at the end of August when you get M.A.S.K, and Dragon Man will be there to be on the back being told by Rhino. But I know that somebody ordered Dragon Man, and you know somebody that ordered Dragon Man. So,
Mhm.
like I said, what are you waiting for, brother? Like I said again,
This is
you know.
this is one of my favorite androids from the Fantastic Four universe. He is great. They did such a good job. I have the original one up behind me, and I love it. It just doesn't stand for shit. There's no articulation.
Mhm.
It's kind of like in terms of like action figures, it's kind of like trashy. The first one, like
Yeah.
it was like really not really well thought out. And then when they last year at Comic-Con, when they were showing like the beginning parts of this, I was like, there's no way. And then they announced that it's like a made to order. I ordered two. I don't know if I need them. I know I'm going to take one out of the box. I don't know if I'm going to keep the other one in the box, but I will have two. This
Mhm.
is look, this figure. I mean, these product shots are
Yeah. Wow.
it's awesome.
Yeah. They really pulled out the
I
stretch
love
on
Dragon
this.
Man.
I loved
He's
the
10 inches,
deco
dude.
look. I know. I love the deco look. I love that he comes with several different wings. You know, this is it's a great looking character, and I like the made for order philosophy. You know, not everything needs to be, if you know somebody doesn't like it, fine. You don't have to order it. But for a certain group of people that really were passionate about this character, they're gonna get that in hand. And I think that's how you want to actually sell certain, you know, items that you don't think are gonna be mass marketed. I think you just go to the people that want it. And you know, look, Hasbro made money off of this. So, and I know they did the same thing with the X-Men 97 Sentinel. I think it's smart, man. Very smart way of doing that. And Commander Bly says, so he's a man in Dragon on. It's like, you know, so,
And drag on.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I just you know, I knew what he's saying. I just didn't want to say it that way. Uh, and there you go. So it's arriving late summer. So expect this at the end of August, probably early September, because there's a certain point where it does shift in when they
you
say
know what
late.
you know what bums me out about this?
What's
Like
that?
if you look behind him, there's
Yep.
like some Fantastic Four like figures, right? But you know what they are. Those are I'm really hoping that they do a comic release of updated Fantastic Four figures.
I think they should, man, because I'm a little worried about one aspect is that I don't, you know, we talked about this for months, and Rhino Hobby said they should do a made for order model with the Rancor. We've said that 100
I
times. They,
I 1,000% agree, and it's like across the board they do need to make made to order. It needs to be done
yeah.
more often.
Hmm.
I think look, I think it's the smart way to do, especially if you can do it, right? There's
Yep.
no upfront cost.
Hmm.
And look, if you hit it 95% of what you presented as a digital run, you know, fun story in plush. That's actually how a lot of people do plush. They actually just make digital renderings of everything they want to offer.
Yeah.
And then someone orders like 10,000 units and then they make that instead of making everything and then hoping they get orders. So
Hmm.
this is it's a good model, man. It's a good model. I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that they do something with it.
I think they did a really nice job. I think the photographer that shot this did an excellent job as well, because man, he accentuated everything that you wanted. And again, I'm sure if you did not order this, you're probably scrambling to look for somebody that did. But I can tell you, you're not going to pay probably what retail price. You expect maybe I would have made $100 over or something, maybe more.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be because especially because they're not gonna be made again.
yeah, I think I think it's 100% over. And you know, hey man, we're running down on time, but you guess what? We got our latest feature that we've been showing on the show itself, and it's time for Toy Box Chronicles high-end toys. That's right. Oh yeah. We've got another segment for you. If you've seen the first two, you know that we are fans of things that are high priced. Absolutely. And we had the Stern pinball game. King Kong was one of the first ones to be premiered on this segment. The second one was Something in the Jungle came out, and it was a Predator from the Pinball Brothers. And that one was heating up. But guess what? Stern's not done. They said, wait a minute, hold on, Pinball Brothers. We got something for you. You can celebrate the Predators anniversary, but we're going to celebrate Jaws' anniversary. And that's right. They've done an actual
This
redone version of their Jaws pinball game. Now, I can tell you, Mr. Maddox and I have played the 2024 release version, and wow, that was awesome. but these extra little features kind of just takes it over, man. So let's you can run down to it, Mr. Maddox. Let us know what they got. Also, a little special thing if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, there's a little treat for you.
Yeah, so if you're a fan, you can check out the brand new pinball machine at the Stearns Pinball official booth number 4029, and at the annual Stern Pop-Up Arcade at the Marriott Marquis, July 24th through the 27th. So you will be able to get there. Not sure why the Pinball Brothers logo is there, but it's just to remind them
Yeah, I don't know.
that we also, Steve is on his way to getting slapped. So the premium version here featured that is in this little square is $9,699 and 0.00 each. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water in celebration of the 50th anniversary of JAWS, legendary gaming and entertainment company Stern Pinball Inc., in collaboration with Universal Pictures and Experiences, are thrilled to announce, and we're thrilled to hear it, that a special update that will excite cinephiles, sharkheads, and collectors alike. The celebration is marked with the debut of the new JAWS 50th anniversary premium edition pinball machine, along with new content enhancements available across all connected JAWS inspired machines, which translates to they're probably just making some updates.
Yes,
all across. And if you know anything about Stern Pinball, you just go online and download the updates. So
absolutely.
Look
And
at this.
the pricing wasn't bad either, brother. Like I said, because
No.
some versions right here, 96. Well, some people will say 9,700, but we're gonna say 96.99.
Yeah. This is such a great shot, man.
Oh man, look at the shark, bro. Look, Stern does. If you've ever seen a Stern game in person, they put the stuff down. There's a shot of the cabinet from the top up, and so if you later in the slides, we've got what the original release looked like, so you're not getting the same exact thing, and they just jumped it on. It's not a variant. So it says to mark this golden anniversary, the Stern team has crafted an epic version of the popular JAWS pinball machine. The JAWS 50th anniversary premium edition features a reimagined playfield with glitter-enhanced artwork and brass powered coated wire form ramps. The collector's items also boast a definitive 50th anniversary hologram sticker along with a unique translucent and cabinet decals. The pinball machine is outfitted with the bold blood red armor kit, including matching legs, hinges, front molding, and side armor with standard premium shape. And it does look different. Once you see the other units, you're like, wow, there's some different added on to it. Again, I think the best part is that you can see the chum bucket and all kind of stuff out there. It's all kind of great references. If you ever seen a Stern game played in front, it's they have digital screens. There's actual quotes from the movie. There's certain lines and everything else. It's just a very interesting game. We were actually at an auctioneer that actually you could go in and free play a lot of that stuff. We did some recording there, and there was a gentleman there in his late 70s, and he was playing that game like you knew he played pinball games when he was a kid. He had a smile on his face back and forth, man.
As the Who says, he was the pinball wizard.
He was enjoying, and his wife was equally enjoying herself too on another game too. So
she was playing Kong.
Yeah, the
he was
husband
playing
wife.
Jaws, she was playing whatever the Mech Godzilla.
Yeah, I think, like I said again, the husband and wife team that plays pinball together stays together, I guess, right? And look, you can look at some of the side marquees right here. Wow, they really took that in. That's beautiful artwork from that too. And I guess the Roy Schneider said no. Well, he was in the original game, so there's a part where he says, "Come back here and shovel some of this," and then so his likeness is in the original 2024 game. So I don't know if that's the case here. I'm probably sure it is. Right here also too, man, you can look at all the actual things. You can see Robert Shaw's character right there. It's Quinn, Richard Dreyfuss, all the great looks and everything. There's a part where he's shooting the shark, and if you've ever seen these games played, again, it is wide view. It is one of those things. It's a treat to see this thing. And again, there's with the translucent hologram 50th anniversary sticker on the side, and there you can see it all together. Now, what we're going to do is go back to 2024, and we put the 2024 version. They had two different versions of this, and one was the Pro, one was the Premium. The Pro is listed at $69.99, $7,000 actually, and then the looks like the Premium Edition is $96.99. So again, it is. I would say this game is also worth it too, man. But you can kind of see that from the different barriers of what you want. We've got a look of all three different from the top part of the cabinets. So you can see the 2024 standard Pro version, then their Premium version, and then we're looking at the brand new JAWS 25th anniversary or 50th anniversary game with the red around and everything. So there are subtle changes to it. Certain part of the gameplay. If you look at just the standard edition Pro version, it's different than the premium editions over here to the side because the shark is just out and then the one flips the boat up. So interesting on these things. I just got to ask you, Mr. Maddox, is this one of those things where you're like, hey, man, this is definitely a purchase? If let's say somewhere somebody floated $10,000 to you or $7,000 for the thing, would you take the 2024 version over the 50th anniversary version?
Not even close. The 2025 version nails it. It's iconic. It's great. I love the brass fixtures. The artwork is great on the table. I know they reused a lot of it, but it is updated. It's newer technology, so it runs a little bit better. I'm already part of the pinball club, so I could just buy it, put it in my house, and start playing.
Yeah,
so yeah, man, dude, this is look at the translate stuff that lights up and like the screens and everything. They're fantastic. Stern, like, good job, Stern. Like, this is, I didn't see this coming, and I've been following Stern for a while now. And then this released, and I was like, okay.
And the one thing I do like is that if you can't, I know a lot of people go to San Diego, they don't have the access to gain to go inside the convention, and then some people can. I like the fact that actually they'll have it at a booth at San Diego Comic-Con. Yet you can also not have to go into San Diego Comic-Con. You go over to the Marriott, and you have a chance to see it as well. So very smart marketing for them because they know there's only so many limited tickets, and they do that all through downtown San Diego. There's certain pop-ups and everything that's away. There's a lot of events and things to do. If you go to San Diego Comic-Con, you can't get in. There's a lot of events through the Hard Rock Cafe, through the Omni, through the downtown areas, through a lot of the eateries there. So, that's also, believe me, when they say it's a full immersive thing, it is fully immersed. But I can't wait to see this game. Maybe we're lucky we're going to interview with somebody from over at Stern, man.
This is great.
Yep. So that's it for high-end games and high-end toys, actually. And make sure that you're if you haven't done it by now, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button down at the bottom. And also we've seen your comments coming in. We appreciate that. Everybody over on X and everybody over on Twitch and Instagram and all the other channels, Kick and Rumble, everywhere you're at, we appreciate all the views. Everybody tuning in for that, man. Hey, I think I was hitting up. People said, "Hey, man, are you guys doing a show on the 4th?" And we're like, "Yeah, we do shows all the time, man. It doesn't matter on the holidays. We're always on." But one thing we won't. We will be live yet not live. The show will be pre-recorded for Friday, but we will be. Certain members of the group will be in the chat to hit you live. So on your Independence Day, you can sit back and spend that 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's when right as the fireworks are starting to little crackle, you can see our version on Friday, the most patriotic comic characters. And also we talk a little bit more about the Snowcat, our ideas and everything else on that. And we got some rumor alerts, some SKN news, and some pre-order mafia. Just because it's the 4th doesn't mean that stuff is still not dropping. And we give you things for that week and also for the next week. So make sure you're tuning in. It will be a pre-recorded show, but we will be live in the chat. So somebody will be able to hit you up and give a little conversation on Independence Day, man. We're running at the part of the night. Yep, what a holiday. Yep, there you go. Running at the end of the night. And here's the best part about it, man. What do you do on the 4th, bro? Let's just let's take a moment and everything. I said, what are you doing on the 4th of July, bro? You gonna hit any lakes, do any fishing? What are you gonna do, man?
On the 4th of July, I will probably walk out of my house early because I'll already be up anyways. I'll probably hit up a lake or something, and then because I appreciate everybody that's doing the beta testing of Toy Hunter right now, I'm looking to push out a new update of beta with some improvements and some changes, some add-on features, and then yeah, man, that's literally my life. And then, we got a bunch of stuff we're planning for
Absolutely.
like towards the end of the year. And so while I would love to say that I'm going to go hang out and do some things, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be a thing. I will say that Meeks and I are getting ready for the debut of Joystick Junkies live on Saturday morning. So unless something goes crazy, because I know Meeks and his family are going to be doing things, we will be going live with Joystick Junkies. So
All right.
what are you going to be doing?
As we always do, working on next week's shows.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Like we always do. But you know what? You spent our time with us, but it's time for us to transport you to not a galaxy far, far away, just a channel on YouTube called the Sarlacc Digest Podcast with the best damn Star Wars crew in the entire planet, Mr. Maddox. Well, if I don't see you again, I'll see you in on pre-recorded part, but you have yourself a great fork, brother.
You do the same, my friend. And like always, we appreciate everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know what you want to see. If you have an idea for a segment, hit us up. We also would love to start getting more people involved into the lives with us. So as always, my friends, make sure you keep chasing that plastic dragon. Do not tell your spouse. It causes divorce. Ask Commander Bly. He knows all about that. Anyways, we will see you next time, and hang out and go say hi to the Sarlacc guys, because you're being transported over there like what did they say in Star Trek? Oh yeah, beam me up, Scotty. Right? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
I think that's what they said.